Welcome to this weekend's Art Attack. My thanks to Bill. He has taken the lion's share of the last 2 or 3 Art Attacks, and my thanks to him. They've all been fascinating and very interesting. I take over the reins this weekend, and I want to again look at one of my very favourite artists. Here we have Vincent van Gogh. This was a self-portrait that he painted just 2 years before he died. What a troubled looking individual Vincent was. Artistic genius, and the brushwork just in the self-portrait I think is staggering, but you can tell what an intense troubled man he is. Last time we looked at Vincent, we were looking at one of his churches. This time I want to look at something a little bit different. We're now at the Cafe Terrace at night by Van Gogh. And I love this picture because it's bright and it's warm. And, if you go down Nesborough, perhaps not after 10 o'clock, but if you go down to Nesborough, you can see these sorts of scenes playing out, people enjoying themselves. The starry sky that we see above you here is, we think, the very first one that Vincent painted. He became very famous for that a little bit later. But he painted this one, and we think it's the very first one. He wrote to his sister following completion of this painting. He said to her, "Now there's a painting of night without black, with nothing but beautiful blue, violet, and green. And in these surroundings, the lighted square is coloured pale sulphur, lemon green." I think that's really nice. If you want to go and see this painting, it hangs in the Kröller Müller Museum in the Netherlands. But I want to focus not only on the whole picture, but on a particular element of it. Here we are narrowing our focus down to the actual cafe itself, down to this area here itself. Now, some people have put forward the argument that what we are looking at here is actually Vincent doing an interpretation of the Last Supper. We have the iconic figure of Jesus standing in the middle, dressed in pure white with his long flowing hair. We have the disciples gathered around at table, listening to his words. And the shadow figure we have in the far left is that a depiction of Judas Iscariot as he prepares to leave and betray Jesus. We have the light of the world in the lantern above Jesus' head. And also the image at the very far end. Is that just simply a window, or is it interestingly a crucifix? Why is the window not in an immediate direct cross, but more in a crucifixion cross? Is this Vincent's way of telling us that this is the Last Supper for him, and that is going to be the way of the cross for this figure dressed in white? We know that Vincent held very deep spiritual and religious views, and he wrote to his brother a little bit after he had finished this painting, and he said, "That doesn't stop me from having a terrible need for, dare I say the word, for religion. So I go outside at night to paint the stars, and I always dream of painting like that with a group of living figures." So is it simply a beautiful painting, or does Vincent want us to read more into these central figures and that central figure of the iconic Jesus Christ? You can visit the actual place where this was painted in Arles. It has been renamed the Café Van Gogh. I've never been, but I would like to go. And if you ever do go and visit it, just bear some thought for this wonderful artist, this troubled man who took so much solace from his surroundings and was able to share with the rest of the world such beautiful images. Whether this is a depiction of the Last Supper or not, may the image of Jesus Christ being at the center of our lives stay with us this weekend and always. God bless you and yours.